We are in vivo.
Yay.
Hello, everybody. We hope you're doing well. Yes, that is a stuffed animal over there. Let's ignore that for a second and continue. We have a total of one viewer. Hello,
Yay.
one viewer. As always, we will wait approximately 2 to 5 minutes, probably closer to 5, as we wait for people to trickle in so we can get started on Damage Check episode 68. Reviving everything but CFO. Rip CFO. Rip Ryan's dreams. Nate kind of called it about a year ago.
Well, it's nice. It's 2 years after the proposed release date, it gets canceled. So, we won. No.
We actually all lost. We all lost.
Just imagine being a dev and every month they come to you and say, hey, I need you to rewrite the entire way the game works because we came out with something new because of how bad we fucked up the game last time. And devs are like, you don't pay us enough for this. And Bushiroad says, we know! Hey!
Hey, Maximum Mao. In other news, I hope that you guys have had a good week. And if you went to go see Rogue One, I hope it was as good as you wanted it to be. And if you went to go see Assassin's Creed, I'm sorry.
Was it actually as bad as Rotten Tomatoes said it was?
I haven't seen it yet, but I can only assume. It didn't look that good. Like, I watched the trailer and I was just like, I'm not that excited. And I love Assassin's Creed.
You both do.
I was kind of just like, I'm not. I was really mad because the people said that they would never turn the setting of the game, the setting of the movie into a game. So we totally just lost the Spain Inquisition, which is a great time period to have a game in.
The next one's Egypt. We know that. Just get over it, Jose. I'm sorry.
I don't like it. Oh, my Japan! The Coming of the Black Ships! Such a good time period!
Sorry, Watch Dogs 2 killed that for you. So cheeky. I love it.
I want Japan. Japonés. I want my Japon.
Did you guys see that mission in Watch Dogs 2? I think I sent you a video, maybe.
No.
Did you? I don't know.
It's a mission in Watch Dogs 2 where your goal is to hack a Ubisoft employee.
Oh, yeah. No, I've seen that.
Yeah, and they talk about Project getting leaked like Syndicate. And you're like, oh, you dirty. Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah, I just want Assassin's Creed in Japan. The Coming of the Black Ships, Meiji era. That'd be like the perfect time period for an Assassin's Creed game. But no. Instead, I get a stupid movie and then Egypt. What a good.
I hope you liked Prince of Persia. Because it's essentially just a ripoff.
But without the time traveling, which is the only mechanic that was good.
Yeah, you're right.
I didn't want to see the Assassin's Creed movie after they announced that the past scenes were actually going to be in Spanish. I was very upset because I don't think that was very true to the Assassin's Creed storyline. Because the presumption is when you get in the Animus, you have an understanding of everything, so it didn't quite make sense that I would have to read the subtitles. Because, like, all of the Ezio scenes aren't in Italian. They're in English because Desmond has the knowledge of the Italian language. It's stupid to change the language. So I understand why they did it. I just don't think it was very true to the source material. And I was very upset. I don't want to read subtitles for an hour.
There's a lot of jump back and forth. All right, it's been 5 minutes. We have those of us with us, and the rest of them will join later. So, welcome to Damage Check episode 68, reviving everything except CFO. Get out your tissues. We knew it from afar, but it's time to talk about it. Joining me from places unknown, aka the filming room of my apartment, Ryan the Doombringer Griffin.
Good thing we still have Hearthstone to make me sad.
And we also have, from places further unknown, the Phantom Nate.
Hiya.
Keith was not able to join us today as Keith is doing Keith things. And I, of course, am the captain. So it's been a pretty crazy week for Vanguard. Not too insane. We had nationals. We ARG Nats. We had stuff. News, spoilers. Actually, a good roundup of spoilers, which is going to lead us into the good old spoiler reel, which I actually have up for once instead of immediately handing it over to Ryan.
I mean, I'm not the captain.
So, first spoiler, we're going to go back to last week. There aren't too many, so we're actually cover a good bit of them. Enigman Mega Current. It is a common. It is a grade 1, I believe. It is a grade 3. I was completely wrong. It was a grade 3. A grade 3, 11k. Burst, Generation Break 1. When this unit is placed on rear guard, if your Vanguard's power is 15k or greater, this unit gets power plus 4k until the end of turn. If your Vanguard's power is 20k or greater, choose one of your Vanguards until the end of turn. It gets auto Vanguard counter plus 1 at the beginning of your attack step. You may pay the cost. If you do, power gets plus 4k. It's a lot of 4Ks, and it's a bad card, so don't play it. Moving on. Any other thoughts on Enigman Mega Current?
I don't think I will.
Okay. Next is Abatement Monster Wilking. Another common. Auto Rear Guard, Soul Blast 2. When your Vanguard attacks or is attacked, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's units in the front row, and it gets power minus 10,000 until the end of that battle. Thoughts? Any?
Yay, Zeal.
Yeah, it's so much. Yeah, it's not that much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Those spoilers were incredibly disappointing. But let's talk about cards that aren't incredibly disappointing. Pointer of Kindness Big Belly. Triple R from the new technical booster.
Ooh.
Or character booster, not technical booster, I'm sorry. Character booster 2. So auto Vanguard success 25k. Continuous Vanguard Generation Break 2. All of your successful units get power plus 4k. If you have no rear guards, all of the cards in your hand get continuous hand. When they are paying for the cost of stride, this card gets grade plus 1. So everything in your hand gets plus 1 grade for cost, which is really nice. Next skill is Auto Vanguard counter plus 1. During your turn, when your G unit stride, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to one card with this accessibility from your hand. Call it a rear guard. Choose one of your rear guards, and you may have it get power plus 4k until the end of turn. If a rear guard gained plus 4k this way, at the end of the turn, draw a card, retire that unit. Thoughts, Nate?
That's a whole lot of good. That's a whole lot of good. So, I like the GB2, once again, because it's GB2s that let me stride. Because I don't want to just be on a GB2 Vanguard. That's very bad. So, yeah, I really like the GB2, and the on stride is basically exactly what you want from Great Nature. So you're doing your things, and you're doing them well, unlike Enigmans.
Enigmas don't do things well? I would agree. Yeah, there's nothing about this card that I just don't inherently like.
Don't inherently
I like it all around. Don't inherently dislike. That's what I meant. Two completely different meanings there. I like this card is what I'm getting at. Ryan, what about you? You got any feelings about this?
Yeah, really, it's just everything you want and more. There's not a whole lot more to say, but at least now you can run this instead of Big Belly. You can run Big Belly plus this in some weird combination. Oh. It's good for what it does, but especially if they get something else, like another stride that needs Big Belly, then that might actually be something to look at, as I don't think we've seen their triple R stride. If I'm not mistaken.
I would agree. I would agree.
We haven't seen the owl.
Moving forward, Bravest Rush Grand Gallop. My boy. My boy. I'm so happy. I like this card, but going into it, so the triple R, also from the character booster 2. Burst, Rear Guard, Generation Break 3. When your Vanguard attacks, if your Vanguard's power is 30k or greater until the end of turn, this unit gets power plus 4k. And if your Vanguard's power is 60k or greater, this unit gets critical plus 1. Interesting Rear Guard skill for a grade 3. I like it. You don't get to see Rear Guards that get crits that often, so that's kind of an interesting skill as well. Moving on. Auto Vanguard. At the beginning of your ride phase, if the number of cards in your hand is 2 or less, until the end of turn you may stride without paying the cost for the next time you stride. So you stride for free. That's nice. And the last skill is Auto Vanguard Counterblast 1. During your turn, when your G unit stride, choose one of your Vanguards against plus 4k until the end of turn. If that unit has the burst ability, you may pay the cost. If you do, it gets an additional plus 4k until the end of that turn. So, it's just a better Grand Gallop. It's just a better, because it still works almost the same as Grand Gallop, minus Grand Gallop's GB2 skill you weren't going to use anyways. So, it's better than Grand Gallop's GB. It's got Grand Gallop's on stride skill embedded in its also additional plus 4k skill. So, it's not any worse than Grand Gallop, and it's questionably better. Thoughts, Ryan?
Nope, this one's all you. You said it like it is. It's just better Grand Gallop. Okay.
Nate?
I'm going to totally disagree and say I like it less than Grand Gallop. For the simple fact, and here's why. I don't like that they chose to replace your CB1 on hit draw card with a CB1 plus 4K. That's the only thing I really don't like better about it, because I like the on-hit skill because it gave you options. It gave you, okay, if I am in trouble, I can do something with this. And this really doesn't have that. It's, a CB1 plus 4K when you have a whole lot of other cards in the deck that are giving giving 4K to multiple units for a CB1. So that's honestly just a wasted CB to me. I
see the frustration and I see the point there. However, there are times where I played that deck and I really feel like I am missing. If I just had just 4 more K to get me to the next numbered stage I need, if I just had that, I'd be really happy. And this card gives it to you innately, which is nice. And in case you don't have the dudes or you don't have what you need, it's there. But I can completely respect the opinion because the on-draw skill, on-hit draw, Counterblast 1 is nice. I just never use that often. A lot of times because they would guard or whatever. But this helps you hit the stages to get your skills off. And getting your skills off are nice. And you got to hit 35 and you have to hit 40. And granted, this won't help you hit 35, but it has helped me hit 40 before. Because sometimes I've been able to call the grade 1 grand vehicle, I think it is, that gives the Vanguard plus 8 essentially, plus 4 if it's the plus 4 if it's 16 or greater, and then an additional plus 4 if it's 30 or greater. And so that's plus 8. And then you have 38, and then you need to hit 40 for the follow-up skill, and then boom, his skill can get you there, which is nice. I like it. Assuming you're on what? Burst.
Assuming you have burst.
Assuming you have burst. But I mean, we're already seeing that a lot of the strides are getting burst for the deck. Also, I'm thinking Cross Gal, which is the only one who needs to hit 40 anyways for a skill. X-Tiger needs to hit 45, but he also has an innate engine to get him there.
I mean, fair enough, but this is also just slightly more restrictive in what you can do, because the on-hit skill was, it didn't matter whether you're on X-Tiger, that first stride that when it doesn't hit, draw a card, it was universal. This is just kind of, right now, you only have 2 strides you can effectively use this with. So
I can see it. Also, I think you're completely ignoring the on-ride skill. Or the beginning of ride phase, you stride for free. Striding for free is good. And is it as good as the ritual one? No. Is it questionably as good as Big Belly? maybe. I mean, having 2 cards is kind of sucky to begin with. But, I mean, if you only have 2 cards in your hand and you need to stride, this gets you there. And that'll put you at like 34 if you use the other skill, depending on what you need. Just saying, it has some perks. I like it.
I would say yes, that would be a good skill if this were a Brave deck. Unfortunately, this is not a Brave deck.
Oh no, I made that
we
point.
had that.
I made that point to Ryan in the car. I was like, dude, this totally should have been Atmos Brave skill. It should have been if you're at the beginning of your ride phase, in Brave, you can start for free. But no, they won't give my Royals anything that seems like their key mechanic either. That would have been the only way Brave would have been nice. It's the only time I would have been like, yeah, you're already losing. This is get back into the game. But no, instead they gave it to another card I like, but still. Next card, working down, Cosmic Hero Grand Barrett. This is rare, also from the character booster. Burst, Generation Break 1, Counter Boss 1 at the beginning of your main phase. If your Vanguard's power is 10k or greater, you may pay the cost. If you do, it gets power plus 4k, and then this unit gets 4k. It's a grade 2 9k. And then if your Vanguard's power is 30k or greater, it gets another 4k. This is plus 8 to the rear guard, essentially, for Counter Boss 1. And then its other skill is Act, Rear Guard, Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your Vanguards with the Burst ability and increase that unit's power by the power of this unit until the end of the turn, and also retire this unit. I like that card. It's a little... The Soul Blast 1 is the only part of that card I like. The Counter Blast 1, I think, is a little too expensive in a deck that really doesn't have that much counter charge except for Grand Volver. And Grand Volver has to hit, and nobody lets Grand Volver hit. Unless there's like 2 of them on the board. I do like this card, though, because of the Soul Blast. I think it's a good little tech. I like it better than Grand Sub, for example. That's my thoughts. Ryan?
I think you're going to see almost 2 versions of this deck kind of shake out, or at least one that's much better than the other. But this one seems to be more of going for the Wombo combo. I need to hit 60k for this ridiculous effect. Well, I start at 26, and here's 8k from my Grand Gallop, or 4k from my Grand Gallop, depending on which one you like better, Nate. And then I just add 17k with this guy, and then 4k from another guy, and I'm pretty sure I'm there. My math off.
Okay, here's my rebut. We need
an additional 4k to get to 61.
With Grand Gallop, you're getting a free 4k. Your option can be to CB1 for another 4k, or you can use this dude to CB1 Soul Blast 1 to add 16k. If I'm using a CB, I much prefer the latter.
Well, I mean, okay, so let me make this clear here. In the next version of Cosmic Heroes, I'm pretty sure you're going to run both versions of Grand Gallop. There's no reason to not to. You might as well run them both. And if you're in the one that can draw you cards, then yeah, sure. And if you're in the other one, just don't use the skill. Get the 4 just to get the innate 4K.
You've got the rear guard skill.
And then get the Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, get the plus 16. The dude's gonna guard it anyways, Nate. He's not gonna take that huge swing when you got 4 checks on that dude. He's probably gonna guard it, and then he's gonna be like, I'll just take these other poopy rear guard hits. And then, well, one of them will be gone, depending on if you have something else to replace it. And he'll be like, I mean, he might guard, he might not. I mean, obviously, but like, I agree with you. In that kind of situation, if you're on you'd be with that card, you prefer to be on the other Grand Gallop. I can agree with that. But in a card like Grand Volver, if the Grand Volvers are the rear guard, then he does nothing to help you as a Vanguard. And then the Counter Blast 1 to get the 8K is better. Because Grand Volver only gives power to a rear guard in himself. He doesn't give it to the Vanguard. So in a card like Grand Volver, which is agreeably a good card, it'd be better to be on this Grand Gallop than the other. But with this card, I can agree that it'd be better to be on the other Grand Gallop because he gives you more utility for the CP1.
That was our Cosmic Hero expert, Jose, giving you his rundown on how to get to all these gigantic numbers these strides now require. Even though Laurel's the only one that matters.
Also, no, in fact, the only reason I know as much about Cosmic Heroes, once again, another dude that completely owned me using Cosmic Heroes in casuals. And I was like, I've been trying to learn this deck, teach me. And then he had all SPs. And then he was like, let me show you my ways. And I was like, teach me. And then I played with it a little bit. And then I like it. I mean, I like Cosmic Heroes. They're fun. We'll get to that in the news. Omniscience Dragon Kiro Tomuka, rare, stride for great nature. Success 25k. When this unit becomes successful, choose up to 4 cards from your drop zone, put them on the bottom of the deck in any order, and then if you put 4 cards, choose one of your rear guards, it gets plus 4k, and then you get a Dopa card. You give it 4k, and at the end of the turn, it retires and you draw a card. What do you guys think?
It's all right. I mean, it's decent. It's a decent. What do I want to say about this? It's a decent kind of dinky dude because you kind of already have some space for this, assuming the owl isn't a first stride. So if the owl is a first stride, we might not need this, but it's not bad for what it does, definitely. And kind of pseudo legions, so you just kind of throw some crits back, or your important dudes that you needed, just toss them back in the deck and dope a dude for free, just for striding. You stride, and then you get to put 4 cards back. Like, that's pretty neat. I think I'll take that.
We take this.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Ryan? I mean, Nate.
It's fine. It's a good utility stride. If you don't have any CB or you're not doing so well on resources, here you go. Enjoy. It's a nice budget stride. It's only a rare. If you want to build budget great nature, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I have no qualms with it, to be honest. It's fine. It is pretty good. It's okay. All right, moving on to Super Cut. Wait, no, that's not it. No, I almost skipped another very, very important card. So these are a few here, and we'll start off with the most important one of the bunch. Commander Laurel D.
Initial D.
Bam, bam, bam.
Wow.
So, Commander Laurel D. He's a 4K stride. Enjoy yours. So, burst, act, Vanguard, choose 4 of your rear guards and rest them. If this unit's power is 20k or greater, until the end of the turn, this unit gets auto Vanguard once per turn. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, stand this unit. Then, if the power is 25k or greater, it gets the skill auto Vanguard once per turn at the end of the battle that this unit attacked. If the attack did not hit, choose up to 4 of your rear guards and stand them. I have no words.
It is, in fact, pretty spicy in terms of card design.
And I will give it that. It is a very interesting card from a design perspective. It's like, it's Laurel brought into a stride, and it is the ultimate homage. It is like, it's Laurel, but it's better. Oh, it's not better, because it's not a great one. And it doesn't work with every card in the game.
I will say that I'm kind of upset that you can't Laurel with Laurel just for fun. Unless you... Is there a way for you to do that?
No, it can't be done. There's no way to stand.
I'm pretty sure you can. Well, you don't need to, because for Laurel's skill, you only need to rest 4 dudes, right? Like grade 1 Laurel.
Yes.
So you can, if you check 3 stand triggers. So first you have to run stand triggers and deepleys. And then you have 5 rear guards in the first place. And then you rest Laurel and the 3 dudes, assuming you hit. That's how it works. You can do it.
We don't
easily
play that kind of Vanguard, Ryan.
16 stand Cosmic Heroes, I can do it.
I believe. No, please stop. Stop believing. I mean, I like this stride. I think this stride is... I would definitely run it as a one of. Why not? It requires no persona flip. Why not? Why not? Why not?
Might as well.
Might as well. Use it as your first stride. Drop it on the board, and then say like, "Dude, do you really want to guard my first stride?" And then he's gonna be like, "Oh, I got to. Don't want to restand it." And then you're like, "Yay!" The good thing is that this card was smart enough from a design perspective to say when this unit attack hits a Vanguard and not hits. Because that was the mistake with Laurel. Is that Laurel was just like, if it hits, stand anyways. And then we had the good old rearguard assassination debacle that was 2015. Nate, you have any thoughts on our boy the D?
I can't use them in D-Robos. That's all I care about. Moving on.
Now, chat did tell us something. It is an act skill. You can just call over the rested dudes if you want to.
Oh God, please no.
You do lose the stand. Wait a minute. Now hang on. Hear me out here. So what you could do is you can have the 4 rear guards, get your laurel up to whatever it needs to be, then call over them with new dudes, attack with your rear guards, swing Vanguard, stand those dudes, and if you don't hit, so at least you have your value, except for the fact that you played 4 cards.
Well, it depends on when you use this. It depends on how many. Nah, man, I'm done. I'm done with that logic.
Stop it. Get some
help. I'd rather run this as like a 2 of in Cosmic Heroes, because Cosmic Heroes can get you the power that you want. And because let's see, well, it'll get you 19 straight out of the box. It can get you to 24 if you use the counterblast. And then
23. You just need 1 dope to get all its skills.
Yeah, and then from there you can kind of just get there with a boost or with another 4K, and then boom, you're 25, and then you don't have to worry about it as much because it's like, no matter what you do, it's a card that's good just because you activated the skill that put pressure, but it really didn't debilitate you at all. Because at best he has to deal with 2 Vanguard swings and you net 6 cards. At worst, it's just he has to deal with the regular swings that he would have had to deal with anyways.
But I didn't really have to pay any cost for this, except for the 1 CB, maybe.
There is no CB. Oh, for the 1 CB, yeah, for the cost for the to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you're really not like hurting. And then if you get the dude that's like the grade 2 Cosmic Hero we just talked about, that's like Counterblast 1, give it 4K, then Soul Blast 1 to give you Vanguard plus 16, and now it's swinging at 32, and now you got a threat on board. It's gonna be annoying to have to guard. I like it. I like this card. I stand by it. Next would be Enigman Gigastorm. Burst GB2. At the beginning of your attack step, if this unit's power is 15k or greater, Soul Charge 1, and if the power is 20k or greater until the end of turn, all your units with Enigman in its card name in the front row get power plus 4k. No longer care about this card. Next skill, Auto, Vanguard. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost if you do. Choose one of your guards with the Enigman, with Enigman in its card name. Increase that unit's power by this unit's power to the end of turn. Still don't care about this card. It's Enigman continuing onwards. Sorry, have you noticed we're kind of indifferent to the Enigman thing? I mean, Nate, Ryan, do any of you guys want to defend Enigmans here?
No. I'm just gonna not until they turn out to be the next Ripples for no reason at all.
Okay, I will defend Enigmans in that their original mechanic was kind of the burst mechanic, but burst has just gotten more and better. So now they're the second-rate burst mechanic.
When you asked Enigma what happened to their mechanic.
So, yeah.
So, next, an Enigman grade 2. So his skill is Burst Auto GB2. When this unit is placed on rear guard, if your Vanguard's power is 15k or greater, this unit gets power plus 4k until the end of turn. If your Vanguard's power is 30k or greater, choose one of your Vanguards, and until the end of the turn, that unit gets Vanguard. Choose one of your rear guards with the Burst ability and put it into the soul. When an opponent unit is put into the Guardian Circuit, and pay the cost if you do. Choose one of your opponent chooses one of his or her grade 3 or less Guardians and retires it. I like the card. I like that it doesn't require anything with Enigma in its name. I don't think you're going to use it realistically, but it's a good card from a design perspective, and it's an Enigma that doesn't require another Enigmans. I like it, personally. Nate, what are your thoughts on this Enigma grade 2?
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, yeah, you can. So the way me and Keith figured it out is you can retire the PG. They can choose to retire their PG, but they don't lose the Sentinel effect, that their Vanguard can't be hit.
Correct.
So I'm just waiting for someone to go to a Bushi tournament, and it will be a Bushi tournament, don't you mistake, and a judge will rule that it loses the Sentinel ability, and we see on day of tournament, Bushiroad chooses to buff this card to all hell. So that's what I'm looking forward to out of this card. Some nice controversy.
Bushiroad, an entire R&D department just to vaguely word cards just enough so their judges can make bad calls. That's what I like to see.
Oh, yes.
Perfect system.
No,
No one ever asked, hey, what happens? What happens if this? Well, just put it in the rulings for the judges to read. Oh, we don't need those things. This is Vanguard. They can figure.
I'm also just waiting for the next states or something, and someone's gonna call judge on it. Someone will, and we're just gonna be I'm gonna sit there enjoying my game, and all I'm gonna hear in the corner is judge, please. I retired his Sentinel. He doesn't get to guard. It doesn't. It hits. And you're like, nah, son, go home. You're drunk. Stop it. Get some help. But I do like the skill for what it is. I think it is very elegant in design. I just don't think it's going to see a lot of play. Mostly just because it doesn't give any power to the Vanguard. If it gave power to the Vanguard, we could talk about it. But it doesn't give power to the Vanguard. So moving on. Enigman, grade 1. GB2, put this unit into your soul at the beginning of your attack step. You may pay the cost. If you do, countercharge 1. That's nice because it's a countercharge. I don't like that it's the beginning of the attack step, though, but it is grade 1. It's iffy. Burst Soul. Put this card into your drop zone. If your Vanguard's power is 10k or greater, choose one of your Vanguards with a burst ability. It gets power plus 4k into the end of turn. If your Vanguard's power is 35k or greater, choose one of your Vanguards. It gets power plus 4k into the end of turn. That skill's spicy. I like that skill. Also, good Enigman. Doesn't require Enigman in its name. Doesn't require Enigman's anything. There's Enigmans you can tech into everywhere. It might as well not even say Enigman. This is why I like this card.
Well, you either have to ride it grade 1 to have it be worth anything, or you have to use it super late game to use the other skill to get it into the soul to then get your free 8k for no reason at all, when your other cards do that pretty well as it is. And I don't really see where they're going with this. I mean, other than the soul free 8k for funsies, that's nice. I mean, I can maybe use that if I have the one. It's kind of like the Dimension Creeper debacle where I need to ride this, or I just essentially have to get lucky. Except this is worse than that because this clan doesn't soul charge.
Also very true.
So how's that working out?
Basically, that's all the Enigma stuff and Cosmic Hero D. What's interesting about this next card is that it actually got talked about a lot more than Laurel did. And Laurel's the GR from the set, and this is a rare. We actually spent more time talking about this card than we did Laurel. Next card is Super Cosmic Hero X Lead or Cross Lead. It's a Stride. It's rare. It's from the new character booster. Burst Auto Vanguard. When this unit attack hits, if the power is 35k or greater, draw a card. Then, if the power is 40k or greater, choose one of your rear guards and stand it. Next skill, Act. Vanguard once per turn. Choose a face down card in your G zone and turn it face up. Choose up to 5 of your rear guards. Rust them. Choose one of your rear guards, and this unit get power plus 4k for each unit that was rest until the end of turn. So I like this card because it's a good first stride. It gets you to GB2. I don't like this card because it makes you rest your dudes.
Resting my dudes is not what I like.
Unless it gets me to restand. Then I'm okay with resting my dudes. But I mean, resting 1
Rest
and then
0.
I mean, you can rest 0 and then get the, I agree with that. But the thing is, pushing yourself up to 40k on the first stride actually isn't that hard, but it does use some resources. You can CB1 to get yourself to 34 if you're using the new dude, the new Grand Gallop. And then you could use the starter if you're still using the Cosmic Hero starter. They get you to 38. And then you just need 2k from there. So yeah, I guess it's not that bad. And then if you hit, you get to draw a dude and stand a dude. So you could rest one to get the additional 4K, hope that you hit, and then you get to stand the dude again. Nothing wrong with that. I like this card. I do.
It's all right. I think you can get pretty techie with it, especially if you want to use a Grand Beret, I think we talked about earlier, where you retire him with his skill anyway, but he can still be rested and use his abilities. So I feel like
that's spicy.
So you can like dump that, or you can use, I guess you could use the Enigman grade 1 we just talked about to then put him into your soul. So I feel like all the cards that still add value or need to leave the field before the attack goes through for balancing work really well with this card. So it could get pretty all right, but at the same time, it's just kind of... I mean, he gets like a draw on hit, and also you get to stand something if he hits. So
I didn't even think about that, Ryan. That's actually a great idea.
And he works pretty well. Yeah, and if you're going to stack all this power anyway, I mean, you might as well have the Grand Gallop grade 3 rearguard skills going too for something else, other pressure. Like, do you have enough to guard all of this kind of situation?
Right. No, I agree. That's actually a good way to use this card. I'm excited for Cosmic Heroes. I don't think that they're definitely not going to go any further down, I don't think. I think they will either maintain their tier status or get a little jump. They're not going further down. I mean, I've seen other clans that got a lot of support, OTT, and still just get further down the tier ladder.
But they didn't get any support until Character Booster, which we're not even going to talk about because it just wasn't that good.
Moving on, I think that's actually all the spoilers for...
monthly Bushiroad.
Monthly Bushiroads we might still get in the Revival Collection, but unlikely.
Unlikely.
Speaking of the Revival Collection, before I go on, make sure you guys check out our Facebook page. We have it is myself, Nate, Ryan, and Keith are the only participants. We are doing a little... Right, I'm right, Nate, right? Like Braxton didn't do one. Okay. We did our own little Revival Collection predictions, and you can join in on the fun. I think Nate might put a link in the bottom of this video, or maybe somewhere, I don't know, or he might, but you can definitely check it out on our Facebook page, so please go there, and you can stay along who's in the lead. We made predictions, and you get points based on if you got the prediction right and if you got the rarity right on the prediction. And so right now, Ryan is in the lead because he made the Minerva play. I did not make the Minerva play. So me and Keith are in second, and I think Nate is in last.
Yep.
So Nate, I don't know how deep you went in on this, our prediction styles, and we can maybe explain what we got, but we should probably also talk about what actually did get revealed to say what we like about the card, if we really needed it, how we feel about it being reprinted. And those are, since we're on the tail end of spoilers, I think now is the time to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about it as soon as I talk about these 3 other cards. That was the next thing we're going to talk about. I'll go through these really, really quick. There is an OTT Generation Break 1 Oracle. It gets 2K, and then when he boosts something with an Oracle ability, he boosts the unit. It's a 10K booster for OTT. Whoop-de-doo. D-Police gets Lady Skylark, and it's a Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1 burst. If your Vanguard is 30K or greater, choose one of your other rear guards, and it gets Resist. And if your Vanguard is 40K or greater, I can retire this unit. If you do, the chosen unit gets power plus 10K. Another 10K booster. That's actually kind of cool.
If only Resist was a crit, then that would be okay.
Yeah. But the plus 10K is spicy. I don't know. I'm indifferent. I don't know if we even get this card anytime soon, so I'm not even going to go in that far. And then Max is the Great Nature card. When this unit is placed on rear guard, choose up to one of your other rear guards, and it gets...
Great Nature dope.
Great Nature dope. So, good times. Moving upwards, or moving towards news, but we'll save the big news for last, obviously. Let's talk about some of these spicy reprints. So, let's quickly go an overview to what we know is definitely coming out. So, Lambros, was it needed? Yes. And I think Ryan and Nate will both agree on that.
Yeah, that thing is still, 25 plus, gone all the way up to like 50 at one point, right before they announced the Revival Collection. So it's a lot of places. So that card needed it.
Geyser is getting reprinted.
Oh, praise be.
Was it needed? I guess so. For the
$27 card. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, fine. It was needed. It was not wanted, but needed. Other reprint, Swordbreaker. I would say that card is not needed. It already got a reprint. You kidding me?
This is the reprint, isn't it?
Where did it get a reprint? I'm not aware of such.
Didn't it get a reprint in BT05-15, or is that when it came out originally?
That's when it came out.
This is the reprint.
I could have sworn it got reprinted already.
No.
Nope.
Ah, damn. Okay. All right, then fine, it stays. Merca. I think we can both agree that that card did not need to be reprinted.
No.
Absolutely not.
Wait, didn't it? I thought it was scheduled in the character booster too. Isn't it?
It is.
Why?
Because they hate us, Ryan.
See, when I did my predictions, I explicitly did not do things that said they were coming out in.
I didn't either, Ryan.
Yeah, in the character booster, or at least no one got
Or
that
like
point.
Rummy Labyrinth.
Go, yeah,
Excluded
that too.
those.
My lights are acting funny. I got a ghost.
Yeah, same,
What the heck is going on?
dude. Probably too much power consumption in here. I got these lights on and stuff.
No, that could be it actually.
Guys,
So,
you got big face.
moving on. Binoculus Tiger reprint needed. I would say yes.
I would say no.
No.
I would say Crayon Tiger over Binoculus, which is why I called.
Crayon Tiger is always used. Binoculus Tiger is kind of like a sometimes used if you also want this card. If you play not Legion, you can run more Binoculus, I feel. Some people run just like 4 Crayon, 4 Binoculus, and 4 Legion Mate, and that's okay. I feel like maybe reprinting the BTO2 Great Nature Stride might have been a bit better, but I mean that's why I picked it. I said, well, just give us more BTO2 strides and we'll be all right.
I think I picked Binoculus. Even that, I thought it was a very high contender just because it's the older card.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yes, Crayon Tiger might have been the better card to choose, but Binoculus Tiger is the harder card to get. So, Night Miss, the Break Ride, sure.
Yeah,
I'm kind of sad it's getting
they needed
reprinted,
that.
but it definitely was needed, I think.
At least they took the meta into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, Urgeyser, Lambros, Night Miss. I think, and they say they don't care about the meta. They care, bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Nightmare Doll Alice, however, I am indifferent to that card. So its existence or its non-existence didn't really matter to me.
I didn't like that they kept supporting it, even though it was really, really, really old. I think strategically, Lukier may have been a better choice, but Alice needed a reprint if they were going to keep throwing it out there. So I'm glad they at least did that. And I feel like it kind of speaks to the spirit of the Revival Collection, even though the deck doesn't really do anything anymore.
Well,
it popped up for 5 whole seconds and then was gone.
My general thought was that we wouldn't get Lukier because Lukier is getting a new grade 3 already. So it seems kind of pointless.
We didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
We didn't know at the time, but I mean, I figured if you're going to support Lukier, they're just going to give me a new Lukier. They're not going to give me an old one.
See, I called Venus because I thought they might do something cheeky, like give you a Lukier Break Ride, maybe. So I was like, okay, give me Venus.
That'd be nice. I mean, that'd have sucked because you would have totally called that one, and I would have been like, man, he beat me.
Clearly, Knight's not doing so hot.
I think CBD is confirmed as well. I can't find the information, but I'm almost positive that's correct.
You're not going
Right?
down the list, and it's irritating the crap out of me. But yeah, CBD's on there.
Sorry, buddy. So CBD's on there. I'm also like kind of. I mean, it got a reprint, but it was like a super reprint, so I don't know if I counted that. But I wasn't expecting it. I thought Colony Maker was going to get the reprint because it's the older card and it kind of goes with it. Even though nobody plays it, I figured, why not? Or Photon. I thought Photon would get it. Actually, I should have put Photon. Why did I put Photon? Why did I put Colony Maker? Photon's ass. I mean, Colony Maker's ass. Okay. Anyways.
You chose poorly.
Did you pick CBD, Ryan?
I don't remember. I think I might have that, or I picked Photon.
I can give you a quick check. I have access to everyone's predictions. I can screw you over at the last minute.
Don't.
See, I think.
Okay, what did Ryan pick? Ryan picked Big Crunch.
Oh, that's right. I picked Big Crunch.
Why would you pick Big Crunch?
Because it's like the classic stride from G area. I thought they would just keep doing that, and then did they give me these crappy old cards? I'm like, all right.
All right. He's just like, all right.
All right.
So, Grand Gallop gets a reprint in the set.
Okay. Sure. Why not?
I would have preferred a Die Kaiser of some sort, but this is fine. I'm okay with it.
I would prefer Dayusha.
You stop that.
So that one I thought was gonna be in there, but it wasn't. I'm okay with it though. Like Nate and Ryan said, it's fine. Grand Gallop. I already have my 4, but for those who don't, weird coming from behind nowhere, Shirayuki. What?
Yeah. Why? Like, okay, here's my thing. There are still reprints to go, and maybe not every clan listed will, have multiple reprints, or some might, but we already saw Shadows are just stealing all the cards. So, my thoughts on it are, you just made a Zanbaku card that destroyed the market for 5 minutes, and you're like, oh, we need Shirayuki, the card that was downgraded into a G-Guard, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's what they did with it, right? Yeah. They said, oh, this is just a throwback card that we're now making into a G-Guard. Why are you reprinting old, bad Shirayuki? Just give me the Zanbaku reprint so I can play the card that you... EBO1 is so old. And there was
actually the oldest. It's like one of the oldest.
It is one of the oldest in English. And you're giving me Shirayuki. Why?
I was picking Zanbaku.
Unless it's the secret BT11 Zanbaku tech. No, like 3 or 4 sets after we needed it. And it was relevant whatsoever for even 5 minutes. No. Shirayuki. We're in there.
So moving on, in the reprint land, we've got Grand Azel Scissors, which I think I called.
I think everybody called that one.
I did not call that one.
Really? What did you pick?
Because how expensive is that card?
He's not, but that doesn't matter. He's old.
So I was really hoping they'd just give us a Gurgwit Stride reprint, considering how expensive it was.
Wow, Nate from downtown with the Gurgwit Stride reprint.
I was hoping they would take the Orgeiser, the Lambros route, like this is ridiculously expensive card. But no.
No.
That was a GR, Nate. Like, woo, spicy, man.
Oh, man.
Cinderella story. Speaking of Cinderella stories, actually did come from behind. The reason Ryan's on top right now, Omniscience Regalia Minerva. Did not think this would get a reprint.
They said there would be Regalia support on the Wikia.
The Legion!
No. Then you have to reprint 2 cards.
No, because I could have just
better
choice.
The one
that matters. The grade 2.
Then you have to find the grade 2. That doesn't make any sense.
It's easy to get. The 3 is actually hard, unless it's Legion.
No.
Legion Rare. But I mean,
I picked Minerva because waifu. People love Minerva too much for it not to be there. They've got a little statuette of Minerva. Really, really.
I do agree that that makes sense when you say it like that. However, I don't think this card is needed at all. Scissors makes sense because it's used in the Gold Paladin Gurgwit deck. Like you need. Well, no, actually, I think you use one of the other Azels, but it's an Azel.
Scissors.
Oh, then you use Scissors, and boom, you're in the money, and you use it with Mithril Azel with the Gurgwit deck.
That's a good choice.
A lot of people do use Azel in Gurgwit because it's good, and it's like when you match up against Link Joker, like it's not a bad thing to have in the.
I don't think they use it because it's good. I think they have nothing better. These are very different things.
Yeah,
also
I
very
agree with
true. But now they got a reprinted of their only choice.
Yeah, we're in there.
Moving on.
But
Go ahead.
the Raven Hair new card. We did in fact get the Raven Haired.
Bro, we're gonna talk about that. I'm going reprints first and then new cards.
Oh,
Why you gotta get
oh,
why
fine.
you gotta get heavy like that? I was gonna talk about them. God, ruining my flow. I think I called this one as well. Ethics Buster. I knew we would get them because who else are
There's
you gonna
nothing
get?
else to reprint. They already reprinted those old cards from that era, like the second Break Ride era. I'm like, looking at Nova Grapplers. Well, gotta be Ethics Buster.
See, I wanted Papio, the grade 2,
Oh,
because
grade
I was
2?
calling it kind of how I called Lukier. I was like, maybe they'll give us a new Ethics Buster. We won't really need any of the old ones. Give me the grade 2 that's kind of hard to find anyways, but
No. Here's your Break Ride.
They let me down again.
and we already talked about Night Mist. Bad End Dragger for the spikes. I didn't call that, but at the same time, there really was nothing else to give spikes, so it kind of makes sense. Are there any other reprinted cards that I do not know about?
Ragey Cyclomatooth is one that kind of threw us for a loop.
Oh, Cyclomatooth. Yeah, screw that card.
Well, tell me how you really feel.
Well, I didn't guess that at all. I don't even know who I did. Nate, did you pick Cyclomatooth?
Nah, I picked Destroyer.
I put Stun Beetle, actually.
Stun Beetle already got a reprint.
Did he? When?
No.
Yes, he did.
He's
Stun Beetle?
GBT04.
Not Stun Beetle.
You're thinking Machining Stag Beetle.
Oh,
I'm talking about the
that's the one.
Stride.
My bad. It's a Fighters Collection card. Get out of here.
What? Stun
like
Beetle is
pennies on the-
GBT04.
Yeah. Oh, Stun Beetle.
Destroyer is Fighters Collection.
Yeah. There's no way Destroyer's getting a reprint. Come on now.
I thought it was a better choice than Cyclomatooth.
I also agree. I like the description Bushroad gave, like, some people still use this in Mega Colony, and I'm like, some people need to get with the program.
Some people need to stop using it in Mega Colony.
Hi, I'm Ryan Griffin. Team Absolution has given me this time to talk about something we both care about. Mega Colony decks. If you play Cyclomatooth, stop it. Get some help.
So, as far as new cards, Ryan already spoiled Ravenhair Ezel. The other break ride, not break ride type card. It's gonna see some play. I think people are gonna try to revive Ezel as a deck. I think they're gonna fail at that, but they're gonna try. I think Braxton will be one of those people.
No, we need Vanguard UU. No Gear Chronicle, no Grand Blue, not even Kagero. I'm talking straight Vanguard UU Azel decks. Token Ronbu.
It's your time is now.
Cyclomatooth decks.
I think people are going to try to do it. I think it won't be hugely successful as they want it to be, but it won't be terrible. And you have Ravenhair. Ravenhair's not a bad card, to be honest. What will be bad, to be honest, is Excite Battle Sister Gelato.
Woo!
It's a Battle Sister card that requires Battle Sisters. So
don't do that. Although
Stop.
I'm getting murdered on these rarities. Good lord. I am not having it.
Yeah, especially in the last card that I know is new, and I think Nate will probably might have some more that are new that I keep track of is good old Sanctuary Guard Arc.
We all missed the rarity.
Yeah, like dude's on the freaking cover. Like what the hell? Also, literally the reason this entire set exists.
Pretty much.
Literally the reason this whole set
It
exists.
wasn't for Alice, I'll tell you that.
Nah, bro, sheer Yuki. The people needed the Yuki strats.
Don't double charge me for that.
All right. Thank you, Alice, for all you've done for this game.
Although speaking of unfortunate rarities, I want to talk about Gadget and Maiden Maki from Gear
Yes.
Chronicle,
Thank you,
which,
Ryan.
for whatever reason, despite the fact that this is its effect, when this unit is placed on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle, Soul Charge 1. It is a 7k Gear Chronicle, that is all it does, and it's taking up a double rare spot just because fuck you. That's why. That's why. Put this all the way down the list, all the way down.
Give me that poopy rare. That's my poopy rare, but it's not my poopy rare.
Poopy rare. For some reason, and they're gonna give something that like is rightfully a double R a rare slot, just because like, oh man, we messed up with this Maki. We had to have we didn't have enough bad double R's for you. You gotta be sad when you open these packs.
So wait, so this set comes with 3 cards, right, per pack?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
1 rare, 1 double R, 1 triple R.
No.
Was it 1 rare and 2 above rares?
It's 2 rares and 1 above rare.
That is dumb. Moving on.
It's
So
like
much
the Fighters collection.
Yep.
Well, at least everything in the Fighters collection was foil. Just saying.
Well,
Most of it was hot garb anyways.
let's
Yep.
throw it back to last week. We've got promises of triple R's, Jose. They didn't deliver.
What a good.
So
At least they're
Couple more new
upfront
cards.
about these.
Hidden Edge Crow, which I did not pick because Shadow Paladins have enough cards in here.
I knew Shadow Paladins and Royal Paladins were going to get a ton because they have a lot of cards that were never released. I was like, they may have put all these other clans, but dude, this thing's going to be so Paladin heavy.
This one's just not even good.
No!
It's just
We
a 10k
have-
booster. That is all.
We have an exact copy of that card from Limit Break era that is not GB1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that card exists. Why did I want the GB1 stipulation?
I don't know. At least we did get Swordmaster Mimic, which some people do actually like. So we have that at least.
I think I picked that as well. I did pick Hidden Edge Crow. I remember putting
It's a
that down.
13k grade 1 for some reason.
Oh
no, it's this unit becomes so he becomes a 10k booster and he gives someone else 3k. So that's why he's okay.
Yeah.
We like
And
him.
Is there anything else that we forgot?
Nope. I mean, Malum's in here. We didn't talk about that, but that's obvious. Double R is obvious. So
You didn't talk
What's that,
about
yeah.
Gauntlet Buster. You didn't talk about Reiji.
we mentioned
Oh.
Reiji, and Gauntlet Buster's pretty. That's fine, I guess. If you want to play Eradicator still,
Is it
Gauntlet-
fine, Ryan? I don't think it's fine.
if you're all in on the Eradicator or
I
Aura,
also don't- yeah, but you use Zillion and Zillion's big brother. You don't.
just go face.
You don't. You don't use. I mean, you could, I guess. I wouldn't, but I mean, you can. And then Reiji, I put in the same category as. Well, no, because we did get actually decent Reiji support, I think, didn't we?
There's plenty of Bladewing support, and sometimes it's used.
So
Sometimes people use Cycloma
Hey.
Tooth.
but it's better than Shirayuki, man. I don't care if there's anyone in the fan base watching playing Shirayuki. So really, you need to stop. There are better Murakumos
Stop
to
it.
play, and
Get
that's
some
like you're already making me talk about Murakumo, but like there's better stuff to play. like if you're really hankering for the Shirayuki reprint, stop.
Y'all got any more of them Shirayuki reprints?
All in all, though, we joke, but I do think this set does have a lot of bangers, obviously. Uragaiser, Lambros, once again, are probably going to be the money cards. Along with, I think, Arc, even though it's a double R, is going to be definitely a very sought-after card in this set. Swordbreakers will probably be value again. These are just cards that, like, we're talking about here. I can tell you right now that maybe like Darkside or the Mimic card from Grand Blue, a lot of the reprint rares are not going to be that good. And that's going to be okay.
We didn't have them, and the point was to get them, and that was it.
Yeah. I don't know, though. The only thing I will say about Saint Guard art, I kind of want to wait and see if the US does 4 Arc, 1 Saint Guard OG, or if they do it Japan style with 4 OG and only 1 Arc. Because that'll make a huge difference.
I'm probably going to go 2-3, but I haven't decided which 2-3 I'm going to go yet. I'm just going to play them both out and see. I'm going to make sure Ryan gets us a playset of both. We already have a playset of the original, so I'll just make sure he just gets me a playset of the Arc, and then we'll be good to go.
That's fine, but my point is, if we take after the Japanese meta, people won't be looking for them in play sets necessarily.
Makes
They'll look
sense.
for them in 1 and 2.
Wait, weren't we also promised like alt arts of cards? Or am I not? Am I just thinking about things?
I do not remember this.
I don't remember that.
Okay, just making sure. Moving on towards some further news. ARG Nats was this last weekend.
The ARG Winter Invitational. Get it right. It's not Nats anymore. They quit that.
ARG Winter Invitational, as I've been corrected just now. I don't know how many the total player count. Nate, do you have that?
No.
I don't know the total player count, but I know top 16 was 8 Gear Chronicle. Top 8 was 4 Gear Chronicle. Top 4 was 2 Gear Chronicle. And second place was Gear Chronicle. You guys, do you want to know what took first, though? Boy, 7 Seas Rush. What?
I mean, when you walk into top 16 and see that a good half of the format is the one deck that you're just there to kill, you are a happy man.
Respect to
I
all,
made this meta call. Goodbye.
Respect to all players who went and made the top. Respect to Mason Clark and Justin Russell, I believe his name is, for getting in the finals. And respect for Justin Russell for making the meta call and getting it. Like, he was the only, I believe in top 16, there was only 2 Grand Blue players. One was playing Night Mist and one was playing 7 Seeds, if I got my information right. Night Rose. And one was playing 7 Seeds. So this man is the only man in top 16 with the Rush deck. Man makes the meta call. Man went to the tourney with the meta call, and he got it right. Like, what? Come
I just want that tourney report. I'm expecting like 7 rounds of straight Gear Chronicle, and then 4 rounds in the finals. He just played 12 Gear Chronicle decks the whole way, and he said, "This is exactly what I'm here to do."
Gears was in top 8. It was 4. So there were 4 Gears and then 4 other decks in top 8. There was 8 Gears decks and then 8 other decks in top 16. Look, guys, Gears is a very powerful deck. It is by far the most powerful deck in the meta. And you can argue like, but 7 Seas won. Yeah, because it's the meta call. It's the deck that's built. It's the buzzsaw. It's there to stop the cancer. And it's like, I watched it. I mean, that deck just shuts down Gears. It just does. Slash Shade is Slash Shade. Like,
I mean, even looking at Mason's games in the finals, he did what he could, and his deck was there for him every step of the way, saying, "You're not gonna die to this." And there was just nothing he could do. It was just nothing he could do the entire time.
He got the heal trigger. He got 2 heal triggers. And he got 3 defensive triggers throughout the second game too. I remember watching it. But like, his deck was definitely like giving him everything the deck could. But at the end of the day, and he almost made the guy deck out. But at the end of the day, dude, Slash Shade is Slash Shade. That thing is gonna come for you, and he's coming for the throat. I mean, wow, wowzers. It's sometimes decks make the meta call and they're dead wrong. And sometimes they make the meta call and they're dead right. And this guy got it dead right. So I give him respect for making the call. Now, a lot of people after watching this were like, 7 Seas needs to get nerfed, it needs to get banned, it needs to get da-da-da-da. I don't necessarily agree with that. Is the deck dumb and janky and probably a little cancerous? Not question. Yeah, deck's dumb. But it's built to really as a like giant middle finger to one of the most powerful decks in the game, bar question, bar none.
And that's it. I mean, there's a reason that we've been seeing so many Rush decks. It's because there's so much power in these late game or whatever GB decks that it just makes sense to try and run them over and just go face and see if you can kill them before it's all of their cards are turned on. And there is no offender worse than Gear Chronicle in terms of just the raw amount of GB stuff that it has. All of its good cards are GB1 at least. They've been making cards. Bushiroad is printing cards just to get you to GB1 so you can do things while people try to stop you. They printed Seabreeze. They printed Twitter Run. And they're not fixing the core problem is stop putting things on top of Gear Chronicle. It's happening, but it's happening too much. And people say, like, what 7 Seas, If the tournament had no Gear Chronicle, would 7 Seas have won? Probably not, honestly. But because a good half the field, maybe that. I'm waiting on the numbers. But representative of top 16, if half the field played Gear Chronicle, or even a third, or a fourth, that's still a really good chance of just swinging all the way through and hitting it all. And if you can beat the 3 rogue matchups you run into, which they could be anything, it's Vanguard. You could be running into Ripples or Neo-Nectar, and assuming you can kill those things, you're in the money.
Also, because it's best 2 out of 3, Ryan, he doesn't even have to assume that the full field. He just has to assume that the deck can perform well enough not to get him to top 8, but get him to top 16. And then he just has to hope that Gear Chronicle will be all that's in top 16. And then he'll just scoop the field. He just has to do well enough to get into the top tables because he knows that's where he'll see Gears. If he cues into it through the tourney, great, he'll kill it too. But really what he's going into is like, can 7 Seas Rush make it the top 16 even if Gear Chronicles isn't there? Well, I would argue still yes. It's still a grade 1 Rush deck. It's a grade 1 Rush deck that like has Slash Shade and reses from the dead. Like it's very different than a lot of Rush decks we've seen before it. Same way Ripples was a lot different than Rush decks we'd seen before it, and same way that Saint Guard was a lot different than Rush decks we had seen before it. A lot of them are different. They're not your average. Let's put 32 grade 1s and 16
and
crits.
Hope.
And also, it has a stand trigger that's freaking stupid. And he was running the stand, by the way. He was running 12-4, I believe. He was at least running 2 because I saw him play 2. And so it's like, we're talking about a deck that can do well enough to get to top 16. So the real question all he has to ask himself is, once I get to top 16, is Gears going to be there? Best deck in the game? I bet I'll see it. and then you've already made it, Nate, you've been kind of quiet. Any thoughts here?
Not particularly. I mean, it's just kind of one of those that I think the greater question is, can you make it to top cut? I don't know if I could take 7 Seas Rush into a tournament and say, I can make it to top cut. I don't know if I'd make that judgment.
That's fair. Once again, I would have to see the numbers and the rounds. As the tournament gets longer, you have to really start considering whether or not your chances are. It's just like top cut is top 16, not top 8. So like top 8 might have been a harder question. I don't know what his place was either. But there are little nuances to these things. But he made the better call. He made it right, and he did it right.
And clearly, he played the deck to perfection. So, if you have such a mastery of that deck, and it's that dangerous, you see what a skilled Gears player can do.
So the problem is that the deck will also lose. I will agree to this. The grade 1 Grand Blue deck is going to lose to any deck with like Limit Break. But like, the Limit Break is going to lose to anything to begin with. So now we're making Buzzsaws to cut Buzzsaws? Like,
okay. CBD in Raging Form and maybe Descended upcoming might disagree with you heavy-handedly, friend.
What?
That if you're playing a Limit Break deck, you're going to lose to everything else. I think Raging Form, Descendant, and CBD might disagree with you.
I don't know, because CBD can't lock fast enough. It can lock. It depends on. Maybe. And CBD does lose to a lot of stuff now. CBD's still good. Don't get me wrong, but it loses in the mirror to Messiahs because Messiahs just do it better, and they can unlock their dudes. And it can sometimes lose to golds if golds have the Azel play. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about this guy, and he made the right meta call, and I respect him for it. But it kind of going to depend on what happens now. If Bushi doesn't even care about us to begin with, so they're not going to really look at us. But apparently, I kept being told that 7 Seas run the Asia BWC Continentals.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully Bushi's paying attention. They need to do something to 7 Seas, obviously, but they need to really do something to Gear Chronicle. And I think both Nate and Ryan can agree with me on this.
Like I'm saying, if Gears isn't so prevalent, I feel like 7 Seas is a much healthier deck. It does what it does really well, but so do a lot of decks that might stand a better chance against it. It's just that no one's playing those. They're playing Gear Chronicle.
I think Raging Form can beat a lot of decks right now. Except for maybe Gears. Which is why we need to fix Gears.
Because all we keep doing is peeling the gunk off of the Tower of Gear Chronicle. That's not helping it. That's not helping at all, especially when they keep building it higher.
So now moving on to our topic of the day. Assuming that Nate, do you have any last words you want to make on
Not
Seven Seas?
particularly.
So Nate called it months ago. Actually, I think Nate called it about a year ago. Nate
I called
called
it back in 2015.
I think he called it back in 2015. We talked about it as a video. I think it's one of the DC lives. It's one of the recent ones.
Oh yeah.
We talked about it that we pretty much knew it was dead, but now we have it in all but confirmation. A nice little letter from Bushiroad as we have
Another letter.
Those always turn out well, don't they?
I don't think I've ever had a good letter from Bushiroad. Nothing says, guys, we just wanted to say that, we had a tournament and it didn't suck. We want to pat ourselves on the back for this, and here's a letter. No, it's always, we're sorry for this, we're sorry for that, we're sorry for this again. This didn't work out.
But we will do better.
Like just one guy, hey, we need another letter.
So,
no.
The letter says, Dear all, after much deliberation, we regret to announce the difficult decision to halt the development of Cardfight Online. Our team had high hopes for the release of Cardfight Online and wanted to widen the reach of our existing card game, Cardfight Vanguard, by providing new and veteran players with a different platform to enjoy the game. However, the project was afflicted with multiple difficulties, hence the decision to ultimately cancel Cardfight Online. We would like to express our sincere gratitude for all the support and interest received through Cardfight Online and hope you will continue your support as we focus our efforts on future Cardfight Vanguard projects. More details regarding the handling of Cardfight Online promo codes received through various avenues will be announced in the coming months on the official website and social media channels. Please email us at blank should you have anything you wish to ask or clarify. We will try our best to assist you. One, Nate, have you sent a letter to them?
No.
I figured you would. I figured you would, like asking for clarification, like what the hell happened.
No.
So it's
we already know what happened. It's like 5 whole different reasons, and then the BM on the front end and the BM on the back end with how this was handled.
So,
yes.
I mean, obviously, look, there were a lot of YouTubers that came to support and wanted us to keep continually supporting this. But, dude, when you know it's dead, it's dead. This isn't The Last Guardian. It's not coming back from the dead. At least this isn't like Kingdom Hearts 3, which we knew was going to be made. It was just a question of when. It died a long time ago, and they're just choosing now to tell us. Does it suck? Absolutely. We're heartbroken. I really wanted to see Cardfight Online eventually.
We only want Bushiroad to succeed, but they just keep shooting themselves in the foot. Every time we look them in this camera and we say, do better, and we know they hear us. We know they hear us, but they just, for whatever reason, can't get it through their heads that whatever they're doing is just totally wrong.
One, you can't pick a company to develop your game who hasn't really succeeded at developing games. Like,
oh my god,
they made one mobile game. One. And I've even heard that mobile game isn't that well functioning. So it's like,
Bushiroad went up to this dev company and said, I have $3. Can you do this? And like I said, and while the devs may not have been first class, which, did this need to be made by first class devs? No.
Probably not.
But it doesn't help when you're continuously telling them, as I joked about at the very, very beginning of this video, that, hey, we added a new mechanic to how the game functions as a whole. Can you fix that for me? Well, no. That we've just done coding everything into here, no matter how good or bad that code is. You want us to change the way every entire game works? It's one thing to keep up with putting all of these cards into these digital little whatevers and making sure it all interacts right and doesn't bug up and does everything for you like it was supposed to. But the game's just getting more and more complicated, and stuff just keeps getting added every month, every week. There's a new monthly Bushiroad promo. There's a new spoiler that has to be in there. And while
also new mechanics.
Also new mechanics entirely with how they work, and you have to code all of that. And it's just like they just kept building this ridiculous tower and saying, why isn't our game done yet? Well, maybe if you had just had some people really work on the core version of the game and make it really good before adding all that flashy crap we didn't even like in the beta, then maybe you could have actually spent some time, then the next span of time actually, having somebody like hot code and then having somebody like make the base. So that would have made a lot more sense. But also, I'm just guessing Bushiroad didn't pay him enough, and either they quit, which I don't blame them, honestly, or it just couldn't be done. And they decided that, well, this is taking too long, costing us too much money, whatever.
There's a reason why they stopped making like Yu-Gi-Oh games on portable consoles, just because there became too many. It became too hard to calculate everything. Like, we were playing one of the last 3DS or one of the last DS or 3DS, I think DS,
or PSP,
DS or PSP, like Yu-Gi-Oh games. Those things were slow and sluggish, and at one point you saw like loading dots, because like the game, it's a drain on processing power because you have a lot to process, but especially against like AIs and stuff like that. And like game mechanics are hard to do. And I agree with everything Ryan said, and it's true. Like, did these guys have to be the best? No, but they had to like show like promise. And also Bushiroad at some point needed to hit an e-brake and say like, why don't we give these guys 2 months of not releasing anything and let them get their bearings with what is out?
See, I agree with that, but Bushiroad will not go a month without releasing product in both the Japan and US markets. I'm sorry, they like money. I think this fundamentally points to there had to have been issues communicating between the Cardfight Online team and the TCG development team. I think fundamentally, if you look, the team over at Bushiroad developing the game, what the next mechanics are, etc., we're not communicating with the CFO development team. I kind of think Cardfight Online probably died around the time G Guardians came out. I really do. I think Bushiroad probably did not communicate that with the CFO team. They just said, here you are. CFO team didn't know quite how to handle that, and suddenly Bushiroad starts releasing all these little mechanics for each clan. It just piles up, and it never got past the G Guardian stage. That's kind of where I think this whole thing just kind of died.
So the question is, what's next for us as a community, as a group of people who like Vanguard?
Well, I'll say I want to stop you right there for a second, because before I want to talk about the future, I want to talk about exactly how badly Bushiroad, then seeing the hot pile of garbage that their project turned out to be, is that one, on the front end, we had a team of perfectly capable developers with successful games under their belt who wanted to say, hey, we'll jump over to Cardfight Vanguard. Rip Cardfight Pro, because it would have worked perfectly. The devs who made Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro and Dev Pro are lovely people who make some really quality games. I mean, Dev Pro and Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro work pretty well. Were they the most popular? No, but at least we know that they did what they said they would do. It plays the game for you. It says, here's what the mechanic does, and it does all the stuff for you to make sure that you can't cheat. And it's based off of a very good engine that was made by Konami itself. So, at least everything's in there. And they said, oh, we'll do Cardfight Pro. And Bushiroad said, no, we're going to do that ourselves. So we want the money, or we want, we don't want to have our intellectual rights out there for someone else to have, even though Cardfight area is mysteriously still active. Praise the Russians and whatever copyright loopholes they have.
Thank you, Russian.
Thank you, Russians. Please go donate to Cardfight area. Anyway, keep them alive. We still need online Cardfight somehow. It ain't coming for us anytime soon. But I digress. So that was on the front end. They said, you know what? No Cardfight Pro. We're going to do it ourselves. We're going to take 2 years to do it. And another 6 months after they, said, no Cardfight Pro, we have a project of our own, to then announce Cardfight Online. And so they really just kind of strung us along for 2.5 years, where we could have already just had a functioning game done better. They could have even made a deal with Bushiroad to do it. But no, they had to do it themselves. And then on the back end, and this is a little tidbit that most everyone is talking about, or has at least seen, is that right after, or maybe like an hour after they put out that letter, Cardfight Online updated their cover photo to something with a message full of hope that we knew was just empty, disgusting nothingness.
Why does the page even exist anymore?
Just delete it. Just delete it.
Okay, so can I speculate?
Yes, you can
I
speculate.
would love some speculation time. Okay.
Go for it.
So, one, I think they shut down Cardfight Pro because they're not Japanese, and I think Bushiroad is just so stuck in their heads that they have to support Japanese. So I think they wouldn't do that because
It's a translation.
well, we know how great they are with English translations as is.
I would love Japan to have some of the flack for once.
So I think that's the issue there. And honestly, I think they probably wanted the 3DS people, the people who did the 3DS game, to do Cardfight Online. However, I kind of suspect, knowing Bushiroad, they just kind of put some feelers out there to the Japanese community saying, hey, we have an online TCG project. We're not looking to spend a whole lot of money. So if you want to development, send us bids in. And it just so happens Delightworks put in the lowest bid and kind of got stuck with it. So I kind of think the issue wasn't so much the budget on Bushiroad's end as it was Delightworks probably committed to making the game with less money than they actually needed to make the game.
And I feel that. However, my counter to that is it doesn't make a whole lot of sense when, if it was a free thing, like Bushiroad didn't make any additional revenue on it, I'm okay with that. That makes a lot of sense. I want to do something for the community. I want people to have a good testing ground so people continue to play the game. They're able to test cards online in an official Bushiroad-sponsored way, and then they go out and buy our product. So it's a marketing tool.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's it. But they said, no, we want to take it in the revenue generation way, like Hearthstone and similar games. We want people to spend money or get promos out of buying our packs so they can get packs in Cardfight Online. We make additional money off of this. So they're turning it into a revenue generation tool. And what irks me is they didn't have the foresight, what else is new, to say, we need to spend money to make money. If they had just went in with that mentality, just said, we'll have a good dev team. Not a crappy one, not the lowest bidder, but definitely not, we don't need Blizzard Entertainment to do this. We need someone who can competently copy our engine from the 3DS games and use it and just code in all these other mechanics. And it took them 2 years to realize that, wow, this is just going to suck. Like, how do you not plan that far in advance to say, we're going to make so much money off of this, we should at least spend a little more than the lowest bidder?
Oh, yeah. No, I think it's a total mistake. Because think how much money they could have made. Like, really, how much do people spend on packs in local card shops? Now just multiply that exponentially because it's like Hearthstone. It would have been like Hearthstone and people would have been addicted to it. Like,
I would have been playing all the time. All I want to do is play Cardfight Online.
I know.
It's so hard for me to go out and go to a tournament.
So I actually really would have liked to kind of know. I know there's no way you can find this out. I would have liked to know what the budget was, because my thought is, but really, you're using Unity, which is a free engine until the game has made $100,000. So you paid nothing for the engine you're making the game in. You haven't commissioned really any special artwork, other than your logo, which is just a variation of the standard Cardfight Vanguard logo. You really haven't spent money there. Your marketing campaign consisted solely of little paper inserts in packs. So really, you could.
And the beta invitations.
Woo! So you can't have spent money there. Like, really, how small was your budget going in? Because you're also talking about a studio that has like 4 other projects they're working on and only 1 published game. For them full time? Like, really? So, yeah, I think total mistake on Bushiroad's part. Total mistake.
So, where does that leave us, the community?
In a very bad spot.
Praying to the Russian saviors.
So CFA is your really only online alternative.
Go donate the Cardfight area. That man needs to live.
Nate, should we tell him about the thing on the Reddits?
Hey, Jose. No one listened to this live stream. This is shush. Hey, Jose. This is just for your ears. Did you see someone posted the code to CFO in the Unity engine on Reddit? I did. I know it might questionably be illegal. We shouldn't get in on that, and we shouldn't encourage anyone else to get on that.
Yes, this code that is on the Reddit that apparently has all the code for Cardfight Online on the Reddits should never be accessed by anybody who might know how to code in Unity, because that might be questionably illegal. Though if some dedicated fan base would like to complete the project, it might hypothetically be possible. Who knows? I don't knows. Oh, it seems like we're back online. Oh, welcome back, everybody.
Our private conversation is over.
Just be hopeful. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Keep using CFA and hope the Russians will hope Bushiroad doesn't take that down. That's really all our hopes are.
Can they? I don't know if they can.
I don't know. And then just because at the end of the day, at least CFA is something that you can do online. It's garbage, but it's something.
It's good garbage. We like this garbage.
And that's it for that. I'm pretty sad about it, to be honest, but it's not like
it's not totally out of the blue.
Yeah, like you kind of had to feel it coming to a certain extent. And if you really thought that the game was still coming after 2.5 years, or it was still like in production, and like dude, like come on, like
yeah. You have to remember, in 2015 we got was it 2014? We got by end of year. And then at the end of year letter, the president, was like, "We look forward to bringing you Cardfight Online next year."
Wasn't it like 8 to 9 to 10 months?
Yeah, and then the beta didn't come out until last February, and then the next update was like in May, and we weren't going to be updated until like October, and suddenly that didn't come around. Like, the writing's been on the wall for 2 years. Oh, well.
And I promise you, our negativity was not the reason why they stopped making the game.
No. Boo-hoo. They're just crying into their money as we talk badly about Bushiroad. Their reputation can't take a half-black guy, a white guy, and a Mexican guy sitting at a computer casting for 5,500 subscribers. They need to quit their jobs right now because they're not going to handle it.
Yeah, I'm sorry if anyone at Bushiroad or the developer got discouraged from us being negative, but you have to realize...
We were actually pretty positive when it came towards the game. We were
like,
never negative.
It's happening. It's happening.
We were incredibly positive about the beta. And I was like, I tried to... Okay, continue.
They strung us along for 2 years. You shouldn't feel good about that at the end of the day. I'm sorry. Continue, please.
So, now we've reached the end. This has been one of our longest damage check lives ever, but it's been enjoyable. We will have a damage check live next week, just so you guys know. We will be doing one shortly after the holidays. I will at some point start streaming video game content in the near future, so be ready for that. Be ready on the lookout because I will be using our Team Absolution Gaming Twitch account, which I will make sure to post on the Facebooks or in somewhere else. So make sure you check out that, and I will be slowly working and doing on towards getting more involved in that. So be on the lookout for that during the day. And we're gonna open up questions. I'm gonna start with this question because he asked it at the very beginning, and I wanted to answer it. So hashtag Ask Absolution: could CFO be more successful? I guess that means could have CFO been more successful if they follow the concept of dueling network? Yes. I guess.
Well, as a caveat to that, you see, the thing with dueling network is you still had to do everything yourself, and that's basically what Area is. It's not as pretty as DN, but that's fine. Because honestly, we don't really care about that. We just want a smooth flow of the game. If they had followed, and what they were trying to do was do it like, a Yu-Gi-Oh game or a Cardfight game where does the effects for you when you want them to. Hopefully in a not annoying fashion. We're looking at you, Resha, from Destruction, you piece of shit. And so could they have been more successful? Well, then what's the point? Why would we wait 2 years for just Cardfight area again that just looks prettier? I don't care. If it doesn't play any differently, I'm playing with the guy who at least is able to code in everything on time.
Another question.
The concept was fine. It was just it didn't plan out that way. It didn't pan out that way, you know? Good concept, poor execution. That's what I'm trying to say.
Hashtag Ask Absolution. With the demise of CFO, do you see Bushiroad planning to do the same concept like CFO in the future, and why? No, they will not, because they tried it and they don't want to fail again. Worst thing than failing
doesn't care multiple times.
No, the thing is, the worst thing than trying something and failing means at least you took the initiative, you tried and it didn't work out. But trying something and failing twice means you're doing something wrong.
And they're not ready to admit that to themselves, I don't think.
I would also agree. So Ryan, now the prices have settled a bit on boxes on set 9. Would you say boxes or singles?
Well, definitely singles now that prices have settled out. You don't want to buy into the hype on boxes and then you don't want to not buy into the hype on prices on boxes and then try to buy boxes to make your money back, because it's not going to work. It's just not. SGR Thavas is like $23 and the GR is $25. Like, don't do it to yourself. And definitely not for $90 a box. If you can't get boxes for $55, stop it and go try it again. Brick and mortar is great, but holy dick, these things are expensive, you know? Like, save your money.
What are your opinions on the King of Knights Vanguards Azel and King of Knights Alfred in the current state of the game? Right now, they're not good. Don't play it. Alfred has a chance to make a little pop in reappearance once we get the character booster. Are they going to be tier 0? No. Are they going to be tier 1? Probably also not. But tier 1.5, that's where that deck's going to sit very comfortably, in my opinion. I'm very hyped. I'll build it.
I'm still predicting. I think I predicted this. Well, we have to get... no, there's no space for it. I was going to say we have to get the King of Knights card we don't have. The promo where he's actually the King of Knights Azel, not the other one where he's on horseback. The old guy in the church. However, there's not actually room for it, because if I'm reading this right, they really should reprint the grade 3. They really should print the grades 3 searcher as the last Royal Paladin slot in the R, and in triple R it's going to be, you know, Imperial and some Oracle Think Tank card, I think.
Nate, do you think that Phantom Blaster Diablo will get a reprint in the Revival Collection?
No.
Okay, I don't either. You got Urgeyser and you got Soulbreaker. You got your money cards.
Yeah, really. I mean, PBDs, what are they, like $4? They came in common. You don't need to reprint commons. Unless you're Yu-Gi-Oh! and your distribution is terrible.
Yo, Ryan.
Yo.
Write this down for an idea, because I didn't think we weren't going to do this, but now we might do this.
Okay.
This question is, will we be doing a list of the best cards that impacted Vanguard in 2016 and the worst cards that impacted Vanguard in 2016? That's a good idea for a video. You want to write that down.
Okay. That impacted the meta?
That impacted Vanguard
the game?
As a game. Same difference, though.
So you mean the one that impacted the most and impacted the least?
I guess, yeah.
We'll do that.
No,
Please clarify in the comments if you meant something different than what I have written.
That sounds to me like which cards impacted the game in the most positive way and then in the most negative way. So I would say like Odysseus impacted the game in a very negative way. Seven Seas impacted the game in a very negative way. Malum impacted the game in a very negative way.
I think you're just listing cards that are negative.
That new Battle Sister from the character booster. Yeah, I'll talk about it next week, actually.
Have we ever played Luck and Logic? One of our guys likes it for the art. Yeah.
Is 2016 the worst year for Bushi in terms of promoting Vanguard?
They're not doing a great job here. Although
Well,
at least it's a lot of publicity. So if they're going on that negative publicity hype, they're doing really well. What's this game I keep hearing everybody trash? Cardfight Vanguard. This is actually pretty fun. Apparently that's how Bushiroad thinks it's going to work now.
No. So this guy said, like, if we predict that maybe Gaia, Emperor, and Yasui will get a new grade 3 with a GB2 free kind of stride, a stride for free skill, do you think it will be active for like having less rear guards than your opponent? Probably not. That's too easy.
But I can see some really janky stuff with like Tachikaze where you can pay stride cost from the board or something. That'd be kind of neat.
Oh, that would be spicy. Then you just bring it back. That's good. That's good stuff right there.
That'd be interesting. Murakumo, I'm not really sure what you would do. Maybe some like, I don't know, that gets really weird. But I mean, you know, we could see something like that, and I hope we do see more free stride stuff because I think that's some really powerful utility that can put some decks, you know, further onto the board. It's just the more stuff. Here's the thing: we're starting to move, and we didn't really talk about Susanoo, who just says look at cards and move cards around on top of your deck a little bit. But at least most of his skills are free, and this you know, the Grand Gallop, who lets you stride if you have 2 or less cards in hand, that's free. The more free effects a card has, the better. Because now it's not about doing early things with strides. You know, we have a lot of good first strides, and we have some G guards to counter those. But now it's all about, what does your grade 3 do? Can it be used on rear guard? Does it do it for free? That's what we need. Just more free stuff to give these lesser clans just more powerful effects for free. That's all we need.
Lynch T says our favorite new clan exclusive keyword. There's already a video of our top 5 worst 5. I don't think it's up yet, but it's coming soon.
Spoiler,
it might
was
already
Time
be
Leap.
up. I don't remember.
Surprise! Time Leap is
Not
just the best.
Not our favorite, but the best. But the best. But I think my favorite's on the top 5 actually. But I don't want to go into it without the video going.
Do I think some space of the Revival Collection got wasted so far? Yes. Yes, I do. Shiryuki was not a good pick. Stop that.
So what is your opinion on how the community reacted to the news of CFO, and are any of you following suit of quitting? What are your thoughts on people who say they're going to quit? So this is actually a really good question. I really like it. So I'll go first. So I think the community was divided into those on the kind of like us who had realized after 2.5 years that it probably wasn't going to happen, and we had cemented ourselves with that, and we just kind of went on our merry way, and none of us are quitting because of that, because we kind of already knew it was going to happen. So if we already were almost certain that it wasn't going to happen, we would have left the game at that point and not waited until it did. And like people who quit because of something like that, like Bushiroad has done worse things than cancel this game to the game. If this is the straw that brought the camel's back for you, so be it. But like, there are worse things, like a guy getting top 4 in Greece for winning a locals. That is strictly worse than a game getting canceled for 2.5 years. You know how many games are canceled? I mean, like, you hadn't bought anything, you hadn't done anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's my opinion on that. Nate, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I understand the reaction of I'm kind of done with the game, because it is frustrating to have nothing but negative things come out of Bushiroad. Bushiroad does not communicate positive things with us. They commute negative things. Like Ryan said, how many letters have we gotten from Bushiroad that have made me gone, oh, that's nice, or oh, that's cool, I'm excited? No, it has year after year been, we messed up. This is getting delayed. Oh, sorry, keep supporting us. Keep supporting us. We'll try and do better. We'll try. So I understand that, but at a certain point, if you were quitting the game, if your sole reason to stay in the game was Cardfight Online, you should have already sold out your physical stuff anyways. So I really don't see kind of what you're going for now. You know, does that make sense?
No, it makes sense to me, to be honest. I mean, I can understand a lot of people's frustration too, but like to be honest, like a part of the reason we all still play and enjoy the one I play and enjoy this game because you still have like great moments when you play the game, especially with my friends like Ryan or Braxton. I still have moments that lead me to both despair and joy. Tournaments, but also, I mean, we love you guys and we love making content for you guys and we love enjoying our time with you guys. And Nate puts me behind a camera and we kind of do the thing, and it's always fun and I've always enjoyed it. So the ship sails on until it crashes, at least.
But I think people are. It's one thing to overlook Greece, because while we see that, wow, that's really bad, a lot of people are going to think, oh, that doesn't affect me, I don't live in Greece. And it's as simple as that. They think, oh, that sucks. But it's just like everything else that happens in Europe, whether it's good or bad. It's like, or anywhere else that isn't America or Japan or the region you live in, even the country you live in. If it's, we're talking about continents here. If it doesn't affect you, you don't care. You might think that you care, but you don't. And when CFO gets, stopped, it's finally a problem that affects you personally. So if you didn't like to go out to tournaments, or you just wanted an avenue to play the game online that wasn't CFA for whatever reason, whether you couldn't figure out how to control it or you just didn't like it, you didn't feel like it was pretty enough for you because you deserve better. You don't, by the way. Donate to CFA. Quick plug one more time for my Russian main man. But to continue my thoughts, this is something that finally affected everybody who played the game. And it might be the straw that broke the camel's back, as Jose said, for some people, because now it's finally reached their doorstep. Here's the box of bullshit Bushiroad's been waiting to give to you personally. Here it is in letter form, as we all enjoy. And I can understand that people are justifiably outraged that something they really wanted, something that they wanted to spend money on, it got delayed. Were we entitled to this project? No. Were we entitled to any game or any product that comes out if we didn't personally invest money in it? No. Of course we're not. But come on, Bushiroad. At any given point, you have the world looking at you, waiting for you to do good things so they can have fun. This is their outlet. This is my hobby. I like to go out and I like to play card games with my friends, make Cardfight Vanguard content, travel out to events, spend money, help the economy, for God's sakes, on my own little micro level. As Jose smiles, it's like, Ryan, that's probably not how the economy works.
No, actually, you're right. But
okay. And you have the potential to do so much good, and yet you just keep screwing the pooch every time. No animals were hurt in the main scene of this video. But how I don't understand how every time it comes for you to do the things that you said you would do right, it's just so difficult. And a global company with offices all over the world, with billions and billions in revenue every year, how are you messing up this badly at all times? And I don't know what needs to happen, as I don't know. I don't have the full story. I know Bushiroad America is just basically a little hand pupper for you to stick your hand up sometimes and do stuff with. But Bushiroad Japan, you have the whole world, and yet you just keep putting your junk where it doesn't belong, and it's not working out for you. It's just not. Something needs to change, and this is just another piece of evidence that you just really can't handle it, and I don't know why. I really don't. I'm at a loss.
Apparently, we could just always play Pokemon.
We could just always play Pokemon. Follow me on Showdown.
Showdown?
Showdown?
Nah, we want to thank you guys, though. I think we're done with questions for the day. We want to thank you so much for your time. We hope that you enjoyed this extra super long damage check. We'll be back up again in a week. Make sure you check out our Facebook page. Make sure to check out our YouTube page for more content.
Happy holidays.
And happy holidays. We hope you have great holidays. And then we'll see you back, or hopefully on streams if we see you on when I'm playing some games, or maybe I'll get Ryan to play a game with me or something like that. But we'll see you here next time with Team Absolution. Thank you for watching. Peace.